Hello and welcome to episode 49 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I am one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, as always, the one, the only, Perry Burkham.
Hello, Casey. How's it going?
It's pretty somber over here because we're going to be having a funeral this November.
What? What's that?
The old Miiverse, man.
Oh, not Aunt Dorothy?
Nope.
She's still kicking.
It's actually really funny you say that because I do have an Aunt Dorothy.
No, you don't.
Yep, we call her Aunt D.
No, you don't.
And she's like 98 years old, I swear to God.
No, you don't. You do not have an Aunt Dorothy.
I absolutely do, I promise you. She makes a mean mushroom thing. I don't like mushrooms, but apparently she is a wonderful cook.
Mean Mushroom Dorothy?
Yes. Well, hopefully she outlives the Miiverse. That's terrible.
Are you serious? You actually have an Aunt Dorothy?
Yes,
You call her Aunt D?
I
All
kid
right.
you not, yes.
I will be saying Aunt D a lot from now on.
Good old Aunt D.
I'm going to tell Aunt D about this.
Yeah. Boo!
All right, beautiful.
She'd probably be heartbroken about the Miiverse. But
Yeah.
we'll get into all of that in the news segment. Now, we'd originally planned to do our Star Fox Guard, I Demand You, but, you know, a little something dusted up this past week, and actually, I think it's a little bit more pressing than Star Fox Guard.
Yeah. Metroid, the new Samus Returns has a reversible cover.
Woo-wee, yes, and we're going to dive deep into the comparisons of that cover versus the original Game Boy cover. We're going to... Can you imagine?
Yeah, I could. But no, the Nindies Spotlight, the late summer edition.
Well, it's funny that we had Justin on last week to do a Nindies Spotlight, and then Nintendo's like, well, that's a pretty good idea. We better get in our own Nindies Showcase.
Yeah, there you go.
Copiers.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I hope you guys like Nindies because we're going to be talking more about them this week, just like we did last week. But before we get into the Nindies, why don't you tell us what you've been playing, Perry?
All right. Well, I'm going to do some very quick recaps of games I've already talked about that I played this last week. First up, Use Your Words.
Get ready to play Use Your Words, the party game for funny people and their unfunny friends. Grab a smart device like your phone.
My brother got married, and we went up and stayed in a cabin up in Wisconsin. And
Was Aunt D there?
I don't know. Probably. And is Aunt D from Wisconsin?
No.
Okay, because that would be really creepy.
She lives in Iowa.
Yeah, yeah. And we were all playing there, and there was Wi-Fi there. It was really, I mean, it wasn't really a cabin. It was it was on a lake, and it kind of had like a cabin aesthetic. But it was just big, really nice house.
Luxury.
And, yeah, I had Jackbox and stuff, but I was thinking, Use Your Words I thought would be great for my family, and oh my goodness, they loved it. I mean, we played it for probably like 3 hours one night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Everyone just got a kick out of it. We tried even dabbling in Jackbox, but they just didn't like it as much. It's just, the way that I probably didn't play the right game. But
maybe with Jackbox, there's a little bit more to wrap your head around, especially since there's multiple games. With Use Your Words, it's like, this is the game we're playing, and that's that. There's no changing it up.
Exactly. And it's just a wonderful game. The different things, the naming or the subtitle where you subtitle a foreign movie is just hilarious. And then like the newspaper article where you do a headline, just hilarious. We had some, and just getting everyone to just, it's perfect for family. Family inside jokes, and my family is really just funny. Like, they're just funny people. So we had a good time.
That's awesome.
So I would really recommend Use Your Words. I definitely had a lot more fun with my family than with like my friends with that game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know if that makes a difference, but perfect for family gatherings. Another game that I was playing on the way up and while there and on the way back was a little game that we never have really talked about on the show called GoNNER.
You know what? I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man. So, wait, no. Yeah, last week left me on the Jim Brony side of the fence, didn't it?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you had a pathetic score as of last week. Your top score was what, 15,000?
15,000 something.
Cue the laugh track, boys.
Yeah. Yeah. But like immediately after we had talked about this, and this is what I wanted to say for any players out there that are playing that it's just kind of, this is kind of like this is the recess talk with Perry Burkham.
Are we by the jungle gym or the swing set?
We're by the big tree that we start kickball at.
You would be by the big tree.
By the big tree where
it's
all
sort
the,
of like in
all the
GoNNER,
boys and girls kiss.
Is that where you pick your head too?
Yep, exactly.
Big old tree.
Yep. Anyway, after talking with Casey, I just realized that for the big scoring, you really should never go for the glyphs unless you can. That was the biggest thing, is I always went for the glyphs because that's kind of your way of staying alive. But if you're going for a big score, if you miss your combo, it's all about the combo. It's all about keeping the combo the whole time. So don't go for the glyphs. Don't go for the hearts for Sally. Just keep it going.
I think that's an important one. Definitely don't go up to Sally and just go straight to the snake or whatever you want to call it and get right back into the action. Yeah, losing that multiplier it's the end.
Yeah, because the way it works is there's combos, and I don't know how many you need to get right before, but you hit this rainbow mode craziness, and then you keep going, and then you hit the black and white mode craziness.
Yeah, with the insane music.
The music gets absolutely insane, super heart throbbing. I turned down the music, because I was like, it's making me so tense, like my heart is just pulsing,
I think one of the best runs I had was when I was playing handheld mode, and I had it on mute because for whatever reason, or I didn't have headphones or something, and then I was like, man, it is so much more relaxing when you don't have that super anxious music going on, like keeping you on the edge of your seat.
Exactly. So, anyway, my high score now is like 130,000 something. And I got that the day after I posted the last episode where I said it was 15,000, and Casey and Justin were laughing at me. For good reason. But I literally just made those changes, and bam, bam, boom, that's it. So, I love that game so much. It's one of the best games on the Switch for sure, and I love it so much. So the last game, quickly, that I was playing also, that I got back into, a little game called ARMS. And there you go. Yeah, we've played it a little, and online, and Lola Pop hasn't come out yet, but I'm kind of just getting back into it. I played it with my friends. We are absolutely loving it with my friend James, and he got into it, and I went over to his house and played on this huge. He has a 120-inch screen projector. He just moved into this house, and they left this projector.
That's crazy.
And it's 1080, and it, and it's funny because they said that they can have it for a certain price, and there's this pool table that was if you want it, we sell it for a
good price, so we can
a good
leave
price
it kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly. And they're like, no, we don't want that, we don't need it. So, but they just left it there.
You know what? Something that big.
I called your bluff.
Yeah, something that big. It's like tough to get it out. I know when Caitlin
Well, the
moved out of her
projector.
apartment. Like we left the fridge there. It's so big, and it was like we don't have a car to move that, and we don't need it at the new place. You know, it's just like forget it. But yeah, the projector seems like it could be something you could pick up and bring.
Yeah.
But I guess not everyone has like I don't know where those people were moving to next. Maybe they didn't have a huge wall to project it on.
Yeah, I think it was a guy that was retiring, maybe moving into a retirement home or something. I don't know.
I'm just picturing this little old man like, I need a 128-inch screen just so I can see.
Yeah. Anyway, we were playing ARMS on that.
It's like 2 feet away.
Yeah, we were playing ARMS on that, and it was with 4 players, and it's like each person gets their own 60-inch screen.
I couldn't imagine how big the fighters were. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And I played Splatoon on it, and it was just like, I need to have this in my life. It was amazing. But love ARMS, cannot wait for more. It has survived the squid apocalypse.
Well, yeah, you actually brought up the idea, and we were sort of throwing it around of maybe having a Talk Nintendo ARMS night.
We have to do this.
We definitely want to do that, and we will make the plans public. But if you have interest, tweet at us, just so we can sort of gauge, whether we can get like even if we just got how many people can fit in an online room there.
I think 8 or 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could, I don't want to say easily because I know, not everyone has arms and stuff, but, it'd be fun. Do it. It'd be fun to fill up like a room of just all people hanging out and playing.
Do it for like a couple hours, and we'll stream it and we'll record it, and it'll be so much fun. We'll talk with everyone. It'll be a community night. It'll be really fun. ARMS, baby. Woo-wee!
Maybe we'll try and plan that around the release of Lollapop. Because,
sounds good.
Everyone will be stoked to get into it.
Yeah. Now, the game that I just reviewed, that I just posted a couple hours ago, this is a new Switch game, and it is called League of Evil. Yes, so this is an iOS port. Boo. Yes. No, it's kind of a weird. I mean, it's a platformer. It's a very challenging platformer. So it's kind of weird that it's from an iOS game. You know what I mean? Because I've seen that it's you use it like it's just like a virtual on-screen.
Keep like D-pad.
Yeah. Now, the thing is like I know we talked about this with Jules about like Mutant Mudds, and it's just controls completely different from Mutant Mudds because Mutant Mudds is that, it's not as fast-paced platforming. It's more like a shooting and platforming and hovering. But this is like more like Meat Boy, more like Slime Son in that territory. A small character on the screen jumping around while jumping, but. Like so different from Slime Son, whereas Slime Son has that inertia, that movement, or what am I looking for? The momentum. Momentum.
Yeah.
So like
when
you
stop,
go and you'll slow
slide
down. Like Mario. Whereas this does not have that at all. It's very finite. It's very stop, and it's the wall jump is just super exact, and like it's very interesting because like with Slime Son you can kind of like jump on the wall and then keep and with Meat Boy kind of keep jumping up and up and up and up at the wall, just kind of sticking close to that wall. Well, in League of Evil, you jump off, like when you jump off the wall, you jump really far out and then you can jump back on. It's like you can't really stick close to the wall. So it's very interesting in that sense. It's different from other games, and this is like 8-bit. It's pixely. Going for that 8-bit look. Really bright visual. Really, the way I described it in my review, it's really clean and bright. It's good looking. But the thing is all the environments, it's just, they're all the same. Like,
Yeah,
if you look
it
at
sort
it,
of
you'll know
all
what I
blends
mean.
together.
It's just all blends together. It looks fine. It's not like breathtaking or anything. It's not gorgeous, and the hook with this game is it has a level editor in it, and I thought that's awesome. But with the gameplay it's really challenging, jumping along a screen, and all the levels are, if played, if you go through and beat them, they can be like 7 seconds long. And then but then like the more challenging ones, can be like 30 seconds long if you play a perfect level. But it's like I died up to like 25 times on some of them. They're just brutal.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like Kid Trip in the sense,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
that sort of is the mobile DNA. They need to be short because generally speaking, you're playing out in the world, so you can't have like
Exactly.
an 8-minute platformer level where you can't, stop to do
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, and it's great. The League of Evil, I love the length of the levels, because if they were any longer, I mean, it'd be super hard.
Now, the difficulty, you said it was tough. Would you compare it to like a Slime Son? Would it be tougher or not as challenging as that? Because you've been playing Slime Son, right?
Yeah, I would say it's about the same, but with kind of worse controls. So it kind of makes it harder.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, the level design is just pretty crappy. Just doesn't look
uninspired.
that. Yeah, I mean, it's just like things aren't really like symmetrical, and this is no like Chicken Wiggle or like Super Mario Maker. Like, all the levels are built within the editor, kind of like Chicken Wiggle and Mario Maker, but like, it's just like things. The quality is not there. It's like, it just kind of looks really done really quickly and without a lot of polish, which is fine. I mean, the thing is this is a completely different. Chicken Wiggle is not a 7-second level, so it's completely different.
Yeah.
Like, this is so you'll craft these levels
But
that
also,
can take 10 seconds.
But a question now with Chicken Wiggle, I'd say there are points where obviously you can really be moving fast, and that's generally when you're using your grapple to sort of ping around.
Yeah.
But movement in that game is generally pretty slow. At not like bad slow, but like it's a slower paced game.
Yeah.
Now, is the movement in this game like, are you cooking or
super fast?
Okay, so then that it's
You have a
more
jump.
akin to the
Yeah.
Meat Boy kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
In
Oh
that
yeah.
sense.
Totally. Yeah. This is like in that area. You have a jump. You have a double jump, which is always fun. And then on top of that, you have this like Wario shoulder dash move that you can do, and that's it's your punch. And the funny thing is, at the end of every level, you punch a scientist's head off.
Why? Is there like a story conceit?
Because yeah, they're the League of Evil. They're making like weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
So you have to punch their heads off.
Gotta knock their blocks off.
And it's so funny because they just look like little innocent old men just standing there at the end of the level.
Just watching
That's the
their
other thing.
projector.
That's the other thing is, like, this game is not animated like at all. Like, the character sprites are very what am I looking for? Just very
Plain? Simple?
plain, simple. Yeah. Blocky, and I can't.
There's no definition to it.
They're not fluid. The animations are just, like 3 frames of animation for each enemy. So it just looks really, I can't think of the word, robot-y, and,
Yeah, it doesn't look
not
organic.
Like if you look at Kid Trip, it's like super fluid and the animations are so cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean, yeah.
Anything like that. So, not that I'm knocking against it. I'm just telling people what it's like. But that kind of adds to the bland look of the game. But anyway, the level editor isn't that good. It works. You can get it, but it's kind of slowly, like, the touchscreen does not. It's easier. Like, for me, it was easier to use buttons to create the level than the touchscreen.
Yeah, that's
which
never a good thing.
Makes no sense to me, because this is an iOS game. It's really weird. The cool thing is, I guess, is like, you can make levels docked, which is cool. but and they work just fine. It's just it's slower. It's not even as close to as accessible as Chicken Wiggle or Mario Maker. You know, it's just nothing near like that at all, which I'm used to and I really appreciate. So it's kind of grating, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's one of the things where when you experience a really nice level editor and then you go back to something that's more archaic,
very
you know what
clunky,
I mean? And it's like it really shows like, man, this is not so good.
Exactly. So yeah, but it's an okay. I mean, it's a good game. Like I like the game. I'm not really down on it. It just doesn't live up to its potential of what it could be, you know.
Yeah.
But check out my review. By no means is it a bad game. I just want to say that again. It's just it's not like fantastic.
Yeah, there are better games in the genre out there.
It's no Meat Boy, it's no Slime Son, you know. But it is a budget title. You know, I think it's $7.99. I believe it's gonna be $7.99. So a bit cheaper, you know. So I don't know. I guess the last thing I want to say is with the level creations, you know, being 10 to 30-second levels, you know, like maybe downloading them, it, you know, might be kind of like a silly thing to do and play it and then, you know, and then move on, download another one, play it. You can download them in packs of like 30, I think.
Oh,
and then play through them.
That's pretty cool.
Very smart. Very, very smart. Yeah. So kind of like that Mario Challenge thing from Mario Maker, you know?
Yep.
Kind of has that. So, cool. Yeah, so it's funny. I was looking for screenshots, and there's a League of Evil 2 and 3.
And 3, wow.
Yeah, so I didn't see anything about them, but I wouldn't be surprised if those come to Switch, which I'd be interested in. So, you know.
Yeah, look, I just Googled it, and League of Evil 3, there's a YouTube video from 2013, so it seems like they've been out for quite some time.
My goodness. Sheesh. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, not a bad game. Check it out. Check out my review on NintendoWorldReport.com. Now, Casey.
Yes.
I think that we usually, here at Talk Nintendo, we talk a lot of Nintendo.
But that's why your boy Casey's here to spice things up a little bit with a whole lot of Nintendo. Block.
Yes. Block. Yes. Tell me about a bunch of games you've been playing on your dumb game systems.
All right. Well, it's funny. Multiple
I'm just
systems
kidding.
here. No,
just kidding.
I don't care. Okay, so it's funny. I was thinking this week, like, what games I'm going to talk about. I'm like, man, I've been playing like a ton of different random games all over the board. So I've got some Nintendo business here to talk about, and I'm not going to like dive super duper deep into any of these particular titles, but just to give my impressions of them. So first off the bat, I've been playing Uncharted Lost Legacy. Which is the recently released Uncharted game that started out as DLC for Uncharted 4, and then I guess the scope of the game got away from them, and they turned it into a standalone DLC type thing. So you don't need...
what?
So originally Lost Legacy, which focuses on Chloe and Nadine. They're two characters in the Uncharted series. Uncharted, generally, You're playing as Nathan Drake. It's his story. So this is sort of looking at the events and stuff from Chloe's perspective, which is cool because I really like Chloe as a character. Now, they started this off as it was just going to be DLC, story DLC for Uncharted 4. And then when they started to do it, I guess they kept going further and further to the point where they're like, this is too big for DLC, this is worthwhile enough to release on its own. So
Man, this is so crazy because I haven't even heard of this.
Lost Legacy?
Not one thing.
Yeah, I think because, well, the thing is with Uncharted 4 was, like, the big thing was this is the last Uncharted game. Like, this is going to wrap up Drake's, his whole story, and it's going to be, put it on the bookshelf, it's over, Uncharted.
Sure.
So then they were like, to 4's credit, they did a fantastic job of wrapping it up. The ending was really, really amazing. You know what I mean? They brought it all together, and it was like the perfect end. You know what I mean? So, I guess this Lost Legacy, DLC was planned from the get-go because you could buy the season pass, and actually it cost $20, and you got some other stuff. And that was before it ballooned up to its own release. So if you actually bought the season pass, you got a pretty good deal because this game was $40. And
oh my goodness. Yeah,
so it's not quite like a full title as far as length. I'm not done with it yet, but I believe people are saying it's, I've heard anywhere from 6.5 to 8 hours. And, generally in Uncharted games, probably give or take 10 to 12. I think 4 was a little bit longer, but, pretty much this game, it's Uncharted 4, like, the mechanics are all the same, like, you're doing things that you're doing in 4, it's 4's world, like the engine, it is very much 4, but instead of playing as Drake, now you're playing as Chloe, and you're sort of doing her story, and just the first thing that jumps off the page is just how beautiful this game is, dude. I cannot believe how nice it looks. I'm constantly, when I'm playing it, like, stopping and just, like, panning around in a circle to look at the area. It's incredible. Like, the landscapes, it really is, honestly, probably the most beautiful game I've ever played.
I mean, most realistic.
Most beautiful game I've ever played.
Because it's so realistic.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, Breath of the Wild is beautiful too, and I love that art style. But yeah, like, obviously this game is going for, realism, and they just nail it. It looks so good. And it's just really cool to look into the distance and see all the mountains and waterfalls on, and you're in like a foresty area, and it's just really, really nice to look at. The gameplay is, like I said, it's Uncharted 4 pretty much. So, you've got your puzzles and you've got your gun shootouts with enemies and whatnot. The puzzles are actually, so far I'm really enjoying them. A lot of like, sort of where it'd be like a circle and like there are like 4 different tiers of that circle, and you gotta like turn them and get like to make a shape, and each piece has different, you gotta get into the right position, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm on chapter 5 of 8, so I've still got a little bit ways to go, but not I'm chugging along through it. Yeah, I mean, so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm not, obviously, as people probably know, obviously we are Nintendo-focused people, so for me to jump into a game on, like, the PS4, there are not many series that I'm really, really into, and Uncharted, I got the collection and played through all of them, and I played through 4, and honestly, it's just a really, really fun game. Great storytelling, and I'm happy to have more of it.
Awesome, man. It's so funny because like I saw on the notes here, and I was like, well, what is Lost Legacy? I'm like, is that Vita game? And then
oh, I think that's Golden Abyss.
Yeah, Golden Abyss. Yeah, and I was like, what is this? Like, I really have no idea what it is, and that's crazy. It's a $40 game. So did you? It's DLC though. I mean, is it available physical?
Yeah, no, I bought it physically.
Okay, that's awesome.
See,
I think that's cool.
That, like I said,
it's kind of like New Super Luigi U.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess they just got to the point where they're like, man, maybe they put in too much resources, and the scope of the game was so big. They're like, we can't charge $20 here, and like, it's standalone DLC, so you don't even need Uncharted 4. You can just play Lost Legacy if you want. You could just pick that game up and play it. So it's pretty cool. I mean, Naughty Dog does some good work, so.
Yeah, Man, not to get in a huge discussion here, this would be a good discussion for a future podcast, but the way that games work and the industry, it's just they can literally do whatever they want. It is so different the way that you can produce and release and finance and just to make a game and to release it. You can do it the free to play, you can do it in chapters, you can do it with a full game and then with DLC, and then you can sell the DLC separate. It's so different from the movie or it's like either in movies is you release them in the theaters, Yeah. I mean, I suppose that you can release them online too, or there's some things like that, but they're really mostly the same. Or there's like shows.
Yeah,
there's
it's
television
very.
and there's movies.
It's very black or white, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where the games, it's interesting to see the different, and it's funny how it all evolves as well. And excuse me. And it's actually funny. We will actually. Let's just get right on to the next game because we're going to bounce back to what you just said there in a second. The next game I've been playing is Overwatch. It's funny, my sister, for Christmas, asked my brother for Overwatch, and he was like, yeah, I'll buy it for you, and then he never did, I guess, for some reason or another, and, I got like I got a notification on my phone because I have like the authenticator because people keep trying to log into my Blizzard account somehow, and I was like, oh, what is this? I said no, and then my sister called. She's like, hey, like let me in. Brett's buying me Overwatch. Like he never bought it for me for Christmas, so I played it and I want him to do it. I was like, okay, cool. And meanwhile, I'm like, yes, I finally get to try it, because this is a game. I mean, I think everyone has heard of Overwatch. It's everywhere. It's super popular. People love it. And it's one of those games I looked at it and I'm like, okay, like I think I could be into this for a short period. Like I would love to play it and I'm sure I'd have fun with it, but I know I'm not going to get hooked where I'm going to be playing it all the time, and I don't want to spend $40 or however much it costs to, ultimately play it for a week and then be done with it. Mm-hmm. So it's always just been like, all right, whatever. And so finally, I got to play it. And do you know anything about Overwatch?
It's a first-person shooter from Blizzard. First person, right?
Yep.
And it's very, different characters have drastically different abilities. Kind of like Team Fortress 2 and Splatoon-y kind of with the... And then it has, ARMS aesthetics, which I know... You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
ARMS
cartoony.
kind of has Overwatch. Yeah, like cartoony and just wacky. And
well, it's sort of funny to think about Blizzard.
It's always appealed to me.
Yeah,
it's always appealed to me.
It's funny to think about Blizzard because, when I think of Blizzard, I'm thinking Warcraft, Diablo, these, sort of not dark, gritty games, but, mature-based games. And then when you really stop to think about it, everything they do has a cartoony aesthetic to it. And... Mm-hmm. I love Blizzard to death, so I really enjoy their art style. Like you said, it's a really fun, colorful. The characters all have, despite there being no story or anything, they're very vibrant, alive, filled with personality. These characters, people adore them. So
right.
Essentially, there's a ton of different heroes that you could pick from. And then you get into online matches, and there's, objectives. So one of it is, escort the payload, and then you need to, so I'm the team escorting it, and then the other team needs to stop us from getting it to the drop-off area, and there's a timer, So it's okay, we're going to push forward, they're going to try and stop us, stuff like that. I think there are just, other ones where it's, just defend this area, sort of like Splat Zones. Where there's an area right. And it's we have control of it, and then they have control, and vice versa. So, there's just a number of different... I think there are some more. I haven't played all of the matches because I just do random, so it's whatever they give me. But yeah, you get into it, you could pick your character, which is cool because if you die, you can change your hero in the middle of the match, you know what I mean? Take a note, Nintendo. Let us change our guns. Not necessarily mid-match, but in between would be nice. So yeah, it's fun. Now, it's one of those games you're definitely going to need to put in some prep time if you really want to get good at it, because there are so many different classes. You're going to want to know their moves, and I'm trying to think. Generally, there's, like, I think 2 different abilities, and then, like, a special that, like, when you fill up your gauge, it does, like, work. Pretty much, I did the tutorial, and it was, like, Soldier 76, I think his name was. So I was like, all right, I did the tutorial with this character. I know his moves. I'm going to play with him, And
right.
Honestly, like, I don't know. I'm assuming they probably match you up with, like, okay, this guy is level 3. He's played a couple matches. Let's stick him with people around his, skill level. Because I was doing surprisingly well. Like killing a ton of people. I was like, wow. And, like, generally speaking, I'm not very good at first-person shooters, so it was a little surprising, actually. But,
okay, yeah. And did you like it?
Did I like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's weird. Like I said, it's not a game, and it's probably more just to how I play games nowadays with, especially being on the site, the podcast. It's like I'm always playing new games, So I don't necessarily have time to be like, well, I'm just going to play Overwatch for 8 months, you know what I mean? I could see how it's addicting, when I do play it. Like, I'll be like, maybe I'll just go one more match. That felt good, that felt good. Let me go one more match.
Right.
And like I said, I played a few other different heroes. Like, one is, like, she's strictly a healer, which is interesting. So it's like, I'm not doing any attacking, but I'm just healing up my partners who are doing the attacking, I did not play as this one, but it's awesome. He's like a tank, and, like, he has this one ability where it just throws up this huge, massive shield, like, transparent, so you can shoot through it and see the enemies, but you're shielded, And,
yeah.
like, that class looked really fun. It's broken up into healers, tanks, and then I'm sure there's different kinds of DPS or damage dealers, that the game might do it in. But when you're selecting your characters, it'll be like, hey guys, like, you don't have any tanks on your team, before you start, like, in case someone wants to switch to it. Because definitely to do this game, properly, you're going to want, like, a nice spread. Like
of course.
Have your team cover all bases, You don't want to go in there with no healers or no tanks and just sort of, be, I was going to say,
defenseless.
Say a curse, but yeah, you're out of luck, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely fun. And now, do you know anything about the loot boxes?
I mean, I know that they're like, I don't know, there's some sort of, you can buy them and then...
Yeah, it's like you earn loot boxes for doing things. I don't really know what. I when I was playing, I've unlocked 2 or 3 of them for doing whatever, maybe leveling up, maybe getting a certain amount of kills or whatnot. There was a time where I was like the play of the match, so that might have triggered one, which is sort of cool. Yeah, at the end of the match, they're like, play of the match, and then they show whatever the play is, so that's sort of cool to see your name up there and everyone watches you, and you're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But you can also buy these loot boxes, and what's inside of them is, like, you can get currency, you can get, like, I think different poses and different random stuff for your things. But I guess the big one is the skins, different, to make your characters look different. And, I mean, it is nice, like, there is something about opening that loot box that you're like, man, that felt good, like, I wish I had another one to see what it was, I guess it sort of goes back to...
I can pay 99 cents.
Yeah, look, I've not done that. I will note that. But,
I forbid you to do that.
I was like, well, I didn't buy the game. Maybe I could buy a couple of loot boxes. But, yeah, I guess people get really into these skins, and I guess if, you have your, this is your game, and you play a certain hero that you really love, and you're like, oh, I want to change it up a little bit, like, I want to get this skin. And like you said, you can earn these loot boxes without, paying any money, but then there are things like, I believe they had an event going on. It was like the Summer Games or something. It's pretty much, whatever, like, oh, hey, everyone come play now, we're having this, it's sort of like a Splatfest, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we got this little arbitrary thing going on, and pardon my ignorance if it is something not so, if it's a much bigger thing than I'm
just like
putting it
always.
into.
Pardon Casey's ignorance.
Yes. But I guess what they did was they've made like, oh, there are exclusive skins for this summer event. And this summer event is lasting this long, and you randomly get those skins from the loot boxes. So you're like, okay, well, I want to get those skins, but then now all of a sudden it's like, well, I can only earn X amount of them during this period before it's over, and this skin's gone forever. Now all of a sudden, oh, maybe I'll buy a couple. And then you get those people who really want that skin, and now they're paying $20, $30, you know what I mean, in these loot boxes for just a chance. So it's interesting. I mean, you were talking about how it was interesting with, like, how games are released and stuff. It's interesting how the DLC and microtransactions have evolved over the years, because even think of, like, when companies were like, yeah, we're selling this skin for $2.99, you know what I mean? And people are like, I gotta pay $2.99 for a skin. This is BS, Now,
Well, now you get a chance at
yeah,
it.
exactly. Now Blizzard's like, and many other companies, they're not the only one doing loot boxes, but now it's like, well, you could spend that 99 cents for a 5% chance of getting that skin, and like people are like, give it to me, baby.
Then I'll buy 20 of them, and then the guarantee.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's genius, because then it makes it even more sought after.
And like I said, it's addicting. You know what I mean? It's gambling. You're gambling. Like
it's gambling.
And oh man,
you're right. It's gambling.
And now, if Nintendo did something like this in one of their games, that I cared about, I might find myself suckered into that kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I might stop.
No.
Playing Nintendo games. You're like, no, the opposite.
They could come over and like kill
if
my
Nintendo
family,
did
and I'll
this
be like,
awful thing.
Be like, can I get that Mario and Rabbids game real quick though? But yeah, I mean, it's just funny how, like, how the game industry evolves with different things, and how optics play such a role into these things. Where like I said,
right.
people are losing their business over, oh, I don't want to pay that money, but now they're paying
right.
more for a chance,
Right. That's sick.
Yes. Now
It's so sickening, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
That's all right. Now we're going to talk about another Blizzard game. We're on a roll here.
Devil 3.
Diablo 3. Now, for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before, but Diablo 2 might be one of my... I mean, it's easily top 5 favorite games of all time. Easy.
Okay.
Easy. So Diablo 3, I really, really like too. It is nowhere near as good, I think. It's weird. It's better and worse, if that makes sense. It's better in the sense that, like, Diablo 2... when you're making a character, everything's permanent. So if you were to like when you level up, you get one stat, like skill point, and then you get like 5 stats that you could put into strength, vitality, magic, whatever, dexterity, and they're permanent. So it's like everything is very permanent. So what happens when you really want to make a high-end character? It would be like, all right, I'm gonna get someone to run me through the game. So like you're just literally following them. They're going to kill everything and get you to the end of the game. Then they're going to level you up, so you're like get up to level 70 before you even put any points into anything. So you've got like this character with nothing on, but you're level 70 now, and you have all these attribute points and skill points. You know what I mean? And it's very planned out and calculated. You're like, okay, now I'm willing to put, I've got my map of what I need to put out. Boom. So that was like, if you think back to it, it's like a pretty bad, really. I mean, if like I want to make a new, like I want my paladin to do this instead of this, well then I need to make a brand new character and do this all over again. Where in Diablo 3, you can change your skills as long as you're not in combat. You know what I mean? It's way more player friendly, but I think at least back then, like that's what was so beautiful about Diablo 2 is like you had to put in the work to get this character to where you wanted it to be, and like there was a reason to make 4 barbarians, you know what I mean? Where in Diablo 3, you make 1 barbarian, you get him to cap, and then you never have to work, like, oh, I could just change out my skills, you know, whenever I want.
Okay.
So, like I said,
that seems a lot
it's
better.
It's definitely, like, more streamlined.
Accessible?
Accessible, exactly. But I think what I loved about Diablo 2 was how inaccessible it was.
Yeah.
But also, again, that was a point in my life. I was probably 13, and I could put in 6 hours a night playing on the computer. You know what I mean?
I love Diablo 2 because of how inaccessible it was.
Well, it sort of reminds me of, like, the World of Warcraft. Like, essentially, when they first started, it was very much like, there's 3 raids. You need to go through the first one to get gear, to go to the second one, to go to the third one. And, like, you know how many people reached that last one? Like, probably, like, 2% of the player base. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, for the devs, it's like, we put all this time in, and 2% of our fan base is actually seeing the content. So they changed it to the point where it's like, they would give free, like, you could easily get your character where it could go to the newest raid, you know? But, yeah. And, like, obviously, like, the purists, you know, of the day are like, in my day, you had to go through all of the raids to get to the end,
right.
you know?
Right.
So it feels a little bit like that. But yeah,
gotcha.
I don't know. To me, Diablo 3's story is great. I really like the story. I love the gameplay, and it's just one of those things where I play it for a little bit and then I'm sort of done. Where, like, Diablo 2, I was hooked, and I was, like, you know, playing it end on end on end. But what made me jump back into Diablo 3 was actually they released an expansion pack for $15, and it included, like, a bunch of, like, small crap, and then a new class, the Necromancer. Which, the Necromancer was actually in Diablo 2. So it was nice for him to return. And, you know, a Necromancer is sort of like, I mean, you might have an idea, but in Diablo it's like, I can raise skeletons and golems and have, like, a bunch of minions kind of fight for me, you know? And then, like, I could cast some spells from far away. Really enjoying it. There's 5 acts. I think I made it through, like, 3. I haven't played it in, like, a week or so. I don't know if I'm going to go back, but it was really fun. Different, you know, definitely different kind of character than what they've got in there. Some fun abilities. Now, the game, it seems a little overpowered, because, like, there's pretty much when you kill an enemy, it turns into a corpse, and then I have a skill that could just explode the corpse, and it does tons of damage to, like, all of the enemies around that. So it got to the point where it'd be like, all right, I kill one enemy, I blow his corpse up, and that kills, like, 3 more enemies. Then I blow their corpses up, and then that gets, like, a bunch more enemies, you know what I mean? So it's very, like, they felt overpowered. But I guess since the inception of the game, they've changed how it works. Originally, it's, like, pretty much the 5th act came in the expansion, but so it'd be, like, 4 acts, you play through it on normal, beat the game, right? Then you go and you play the game from beginning to end again, but in Nightmare, and it's harder.
Boom.
Then you beat it a 3rd time in Hell, and, like, the difficulty ramps up. I guess they've changed that where you could just sort of adjust the difficulty on the fly, and you don't have to beat it 3 times in a row. So that was a little weird, and I think that's why in the beginning I was just steamrolling everything, because I put it on hard, but, like, there's, like, 4 more settings after hard, so I think that's probably what attributed to that. But yeah, Diablo 3, fun game. I'm just going to keep pushing along here. Now we're jumping back on to a Nintendo console. I know bear with us there, guys. 25 minutes of non-Tendo business.
I know, I was sitting there on my skillet being fried the whole time you were talking.
Like a couple of fried eggs?
Yeah, and now I think that I am.
Are you overcooked?
Yeah.
Well, that's bravo. That was a good one.
Yes, that is also the game that you're going to be talking about. See?
Yeah,
that was
that was good. I'll give you that. This one's just going to be a quick update, really. The other day, I was sort of waiting for Mario and Rabbids, and I didn't want to start anything too big. So I was like, you know what I haven't played in a little bit is Overcooked, so I've been playing that the last couple days, and just a fun game. Even single player, like I know the game sort of shines in multiplayer because it's frustrating and rewarding at the same time. But even playing single player is quite a bit of fun. Some of the challenges they present to you a little later on in the game are crazy. Like the one is the kitchen is completely dark, and you're like running around in the dark, and then like every once in a while there's like a lightning flash so you can sort of see where everything is. And it's really tough. And I was just thinking, like, my God, imagine playing this 2-player where you're just going to be running into each other the entire time. Like, playing single player, you bounce between 2 chefs. So, like, when I jump off one, I know where the other one is and he's not moving, you know what I mean? So, like, if it was, like, 2 people playing, oh my God, I could just see that being a fight starter.
Right, totally.
But yeah,
Yeah, I can't wait to play this with you.
Yeah,
like
PAX, baby.
Locally. Yeah, PAX will be great. Now, this is 4-player, correct?
Yes, you can play up to 4 players.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I can already see it happening.
We better bring the some ice because there's gonna be a fight after
Yep.
Joy-Cons flying.
Yep.
Now, there's not much more to say about that. You know, like I said, that was just a little update. Now to close off this, not long in length. You know, it's probably about normal length of what we've been playing. But I feel like the number of games we've talked about in this what we've been playing is pretty it's up there.
Yeah, you know what? We've been going in this amazing momentum, like throughout, just kind of bouncing from each game. It feels really good to keep talking and talking about it. But sometimes out of nowhere, you just kind of hit a spike, and it just feels awful.
Yep, and it shoots you the other way, and you are like, okay, then. That's why I don't like this game.
Yep.
Sonic Mania. Who would have thunk?
The blue blur.
The blue loser.
Okay, so you were suckered into getting this game.
You know what?
And
I don't regret it completely because it has...
You're at a 35% regret rate?
No, I am happy I bought it. Because, like I said, it has confirmed my feelings that Sonic is not good. It's not. It is not good. Now, Sonic Mania here, let me start off by just saying, first and foremost, the game looks great. I love the art, the pixel graphics.
Yes, it does look great.
The music, dude. The music is
the
really
music's great.
The sound effects.
And the sound effects.
Oh, what is there, an echo in here?
Jinx. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, they're amazing. Like I wholeheartedly
when
agree.
you grab that coin, it feels, or the rings, it feels so good. I love that sound.
Yep. And when you hit the power-ups. I don't know if that's in this version, I guess. I assume it is, but
it's just like
all the sound effects.
Yeah,
it's
so good from that perspective. And I give the team a ton of credit because it really does look and feel like a classic Sonic game, and that's cool. What they're going for, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
I hate Sonic. No, I try. I really did. You did try.
There
were some points where I was like, all right, I can see where this is fun. You know what I mean? When you really get that momentum going, and you're like, all right, I'm zipping around these levels, and there's fun, clever ideas they're doing with the levels. I'm blanking on what the gems are called.
The Chaos Emeralds?
That's it. Now,
they're chaotic because they're blue instead of green.
Now, what's cool is to get these, you need to sort of find the hidden little entryway. And surprisingly enough, I was actually finding them pretty good as I was going through. And what's cool is this puts you in like a 3D behind-the-shoulder view, and like you got to chase down this guy, and like you're going around on a little track from like behind the shoulder, and like I was like, wow, this is more fun than the actual game. Like I really like these like mini games within the game. They're
right.
Like it would be like collect rings, you know what I mean, to rack up obviously, but they also had these like blue balls that were on the court, and like you'd run over them, and when you collect enough of them, you go faster, and then you can eventually catch up to the guy holding the Chaos Emerald, and then you get it, you know? They start getting really, really tough as you continue on to the game. Because the first couple I got, you know, no problem, but then I started getting to the point where the guy, I don't know if there was maybe some sort of trick that I was not doing, but he would get away from me pretty easily. And I was like, man, like I wish I could do that again, but of course they don't let you. Unless if you were to, you know, reset out of the level. But, this Sonic, God. Yeah, I don't know, it's just, like you said, every time I feel like, all right, I'm going, this is fun, and then all of a sudden they just throw like a troll thing to mess you up, and you run into a thing of spikes, or like, oh, like I'm supposed to jump here, but oh yeah, they expected you to jump there, so you actually hit spikes here, and you lose all of your rings, and then they shoot all over the place, and I can only get 10 of them back of the 50 I had, you know, and then,
yeah.
Like I said,
I know.
I feel like I would get to the point where I'm like, wow, this is fun. Like, this is cool. I'm zipping around the level. And then I realize I'm not even touching the controller. And it's just sort of autopiloting, you know what I mean? And, like, though, it's bad when that's the most fun I was having by not doing anything, you know?
Right.
The zones, you know, essentially how this game is laid out, it'll be like, you go into a zone, and there's, like, 2 parts. So you do the first part, and then there's like a boss or a mini boss. Then you do like it would be like Green Hill Zone. Then it would be like Green Hill Zone 2 after you finish that first like boss or mini boss. Then you face another one, and then you're done with that level. You move on to the next one. And there were, like I said, there were actually like the levels are really, really cool looking. They were all really designed well. The first one like that I was playing, and I was like, oh my god, like. This is a lot of fun, was like the chemical plant, the second part of it, chemical plant 2. And like they just had like a lot of really cool, you know, elements throughout the stage. And then the boss, I'm not going to spoil it because I think it's one of those things that when you see it and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you told me about it. That is really cool.
Yeah, so I'm not going to spoil that, but in that was the boss of Chemical Plant 2. So if for those who either want to look it up if you don't plan on playing it or whatnot, really cool and clever idea. I was like, this is awesome. Now the bosses in general are actually, most of them are pretty fun. There's some challenging ones. There are a couple that are sort of like tedious, but I don't know. I got to the point a couple times where I'm like, I go through the whole thing and I'm fighting the boss. All right. And then I go up to the second boss and then I die and then I have to redo it. And I'm like, ugh. And I've just got to the point where I'm like, I could grind my way through this entire thing. I could, and for all intensive purposes, I don't believe it's a super long game. Like, I think it's like 4 or 5 hours at most. And, you know, I've probably put in 2.5 maybe. And, you know, I could work my way through it, but I just don't want to. You know, it's like,
yes, I do know.
I have a decent enough time when I'm playing, like, but like it's not worth the hassle to me.
All right, well, I think that sums it up then, right? Sonic Mania, quote, not worth the hassle, unquote.
Yes.
Hyphen Casey Gibson.
Now, the thing I will say is, if you enjoyed classic Sonic, you're a monster. But you will enjoy Sonic Mania if that's the case, because it really does, like, I give kudos to the team, because I believe they set out to do exactly what Sonic Mania is. They hit the mark, you know what I mean? And I think if you like classic Sonic, you've probably already picked up Sonic Mania, if that is the case. But if you haven't and you're on the fence, but you really like old Sonic games, Sonic Mania will be something you enjoy, you know? And when I say I hate Sonic and it sucks or whatever, that's my personal opinion. And I know plenty of other people share that opinion. But there are a large group of people who like Sonic games. And I think this game...
That's so funny. I was just going to say the exact same thing. It's funny you said that. I was like, I know. I don't want to offend all the Sonic fans.
Yeah,
because they're very passionate people.
Yeah, and I get it, you know what I mean? And... so it's a love letter to classic Sonic. So if you like classic Sonic, you'll enjoy this. But for those people with good taste, stay away.
Oh.
I'm just kidding, guys. But serious.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to do the eShop. We're going to do the YouTube. We're going to do the news. Ah, yeah.
Whee! And we are back, and it is that time. Yes, sirree, Bob. It's the eShop Roundup.
The eShop Roundup. Yeehaw.
Okay, now, last week, I believe it was last week, we didn't have any Wii U games. But
And it was a sad
that's
week.
changing. It was sad. But that's changing this week. Because we don't have any Wii U games or 3DS games.
What? What's up with that, Perry?
Well, I don't know. But we are going to go directly to the Switch. So, yeah. It's kind of sad. We got 4 titles, though. And starting us off, why don't you go ahead?
We have the beautiful Neo Geo game. That is Neo Geo Puzzled. Now,
Puzzled, yeah.
as any good Neo Geo game is, it is $7.99.
Yep.
And with this game, you're going to use your wisdom and make your way through a block-filled tower to reach the God of the Sun. Now,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game. It looks like it's 2-player. I know there was another one that was released that was like similar, but this one looks really nice and more up my alley. It looks very Tetris-like. I don't exactly know how the game works, but
Yeah, I like the little like blimp on the
Yeah.
screenshots on Nintendo's website. Yeah, very very Tetris-y looking, and yeah, it's interesting. I do love a good old-fashioned puzzle game, and the Neo Geo serving it up to you.
And speaking of puzzle games, we have another one, a brand new one for the for the Switch. It's kind of a brand new game. Which is Pixel Lines DX, which we have talked about with Justin Nation last week, right? Yeah, we did.
Yep. He reviewed
for
it
14.
for Nindies.
So this game is $14.99, which is interesting to me. Not that it's too expensive. I don't know. I feel like they went for the
premium puzzle package price, you know?
Yeah, okay. For instance, Picross E, those eShop games for 3DS. I think perfect way to do it. Instead of coming up with a billion games for $15 or $20, they're all like $3.99 or $4.99. I think they're all $4.99, maybe $5.99. But, you know, they're that really cheap price with tons of content. You know, each of them has 30 to 40 hours of content in each, you know, for $5.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, so you buy what you want and then you complete it. And then, you know, they release new ones with new content packs. With new concepts, new types of games. Anyway, I think that's better. I like that better. And Pixel Lines DX kind of went for everything for $15. So it's not that it's too much. It's just it's a big price to put up front.
That is a big price, especially like you said when a lot of the other puzzle games are sort of coming out at a more budget-friendly price.
Yeah, and
now,
how this is a game that's like free to play, isn't it?
Yeah,
on mobile.
Yep, I was just going to say you can test out the mobile game. It is free to play, and then I don't know exactly how the breakdown goes for the microtransactions, but I believe essentially Pixel Lines DX $14.99 includes everything you could get from the mobile game, one upfront price, which generally is how I would prefer to play games. But with this puzzle game, you might be more inclined, and it's weird recommending a mobile game. I know. I'm generally against the mobile games, but it's great, first off, to see if you like the game. Free to play, it's essentially a demo. If you really love it and you really want to play on your Switch, it's there. But if you do love it and you want to, play some more, you could just put, however much you want to put into it on your phone. It's not going to be $15 probably, because there are a ton of puzzles. So you might get tired after spending $5 worth on your phone. You're like, oh, I've had enough of this game, So that might be a better option. Unless
but
if you
then
are...
again, yeah.
I mean, from what we gather, I think there's like 200 or 300 puzzles in DX for Switch. So if it is your jam, for $14.99, you're probably going to get more puzzles than you could ever even imagine to finish.
Right. And I know it's a good game. And David Lloyd wrote a good review for Nintendo World Report, so check that out. Now, this next game, why don't you tell us about it, Casey?
The first game I ever reviewed for Nintendo World Report, and that's is Forma 8. And it is $9.99, which is nice because I believe for the Switch it was $14.99.
Yes, it was, I believe.
So a nice friendly price. Now this is a Metroidvania type game, but a lot more floaty exploration based. We talked a little bit about it with Justin last week as well. So and you could check out. I reviewed, like I said, the game for the Wii U, so I think it. That review probably stands up well with what you're probably going to get with the Switch. But John Raridan on Nintendo World Report reviewed the Switch version, so that is, the most up-to-date review. So definitely go check that out.
Yes. Now, last up, we have the big retail release, a new Mario game. Except it's not just Mario. It couldn't be that good. It's Mario plus Rabbids.
Kingdom Battle!
That's right. Yes, this game. Oh, man, I can't believe it's already out. It's out.
I know, it's not even Friday yet. What the heck?
I know, it's weird, yeah. So...
Yeah, Ubisoft, and they're publishing the game, so it released on a Tuesday, which, if you're a Nintendo fan, and if you're listening to this podcast, you most likely are. That's strange. Usually it's Friday releases.
Yep. So, yeah.
Now, can I tell you a little story about my freaking Mario and Rabbids debacle?
If you can leave out the F-bomb...
All right, on to the YouTube salute. No, yeah. So, I pre-ordered this game on Amazon like the second, after E3 when it went up. Link went up. I reserved it or pre-ordered it, whatever you want to call it, because I knew I saw what the game looked like and I was all on board. So to my surprise, on Monday, I look and it's like it won't get here till Thursday. I'm like, what the heck? It's like
it's super annoying.
I do Prime obviously for the discounts, like the 20% is great, but it's like I also do it because I want it on release day with my shipping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's at your door.
So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll message them, and I've already had an issue with the whole Retron 5 the other week. I paid for extra.
You have issues with them all the time.
I won't be anymore. But
all the time. Like your Switch, your special edition, what is it, Fire Emblem?
Yeah.
No, it's Xenoblade.
Everything I get with them, they're the worst packaging company I've ever seen.
See, it's only for your distribution center, because mine are always perfect.
Oh, because for me, I'm lucky because any amiibos I get, I end up opening anyway. So the packaging isn't a huge deal to me. But every amiibo I've ever gotten, I think, has had a bent package. Like I said, all my special editions have, like... and it's not on the special editions. It's just, like, the corners have some wear. So it's not like I'm dying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be the end of the world. But it is slightly annoying, when it's like I'm paying for this thing, and I pay, it's $100 a year for Prime. You'd think they'd put a little love and care into the packaging, but yeah, so I messaged them. I'm like, what's going on here? It's like, this is like the second issue I've had this week with shipping alone, you know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, well, look, I added $3.99 to your total, and we'll do 1 day shipping, and then I'll reimburse that plus an extra $10 later. Like when it goes through, like, we'll give you the shipping back, and we'll take another $10 off. And note, I already have $20 taken off the game from last mess up that they had. So I'm like, oh my god, okay. And I was like, yeah, but I want to talk like to a manager of some sort, like. And like I said, I hate to be that guy who makes such a stink over things. But it's just like,
I want to talk to the manager.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, look, can this be like, I want someone else to see this, you know what I mean? Like that I've been having these issues over and over again. And he's like, yeah, I'll let someone know. And it's like, well, can they get a hold of me or something? He's like, no, we can't do that. Like, it's against policy or something. Which is funny because no more than a week before, someone else was like, yeah, we'll escalate it, and how do you want someone to contact you? Do you want them to email you or call you? And I was like, why don't they email me? Never email me. So then I was like, for this guy, I'm like, why don't you just bump me up to, like, someone, like, higher up that I can talk to? And I was just like, look, I just want you guys to know that it's, like, getting crazy, and I'm going to go to Best Buy if this continues, you know what I mean? Like, it's getting to that point. And the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, like, if you just give us one more chance, he's like, once this ships, I will follow up with you personally, and I will reimburse you the shipping plus the $10. I'm like, okay, all right. And now it has shipped, I have picked it up, and I've still yet to hear back from this guy personally. And
what's his name?
I think it was Zuber, or something. It was something weird, something with a Z. I've got the chat logs saved, like Chris Hansen. I've got the chat logs right here. Why don't you take a seat, please?
You're a pervert.
Now,
interesting.
So yeah, now I'm going to have to contact them tomorrow to situate that whole thing out. But since that point, I have now ordered. I don't want to say ordered. I have applied and got approved for the Best Buy credit card, like store card, to get my bonus points. I'm going to pick up the Gamers Club. And I've canceled my orders from Amazon, so I'm making the switch.
All right.
Over. And
I'll probably be doing the same thing.
It's a shame because I love Amazon. It's so easy to order. It comes in 2 days. You know what I mean? But it just gets.
They've had way too many strikes.
Exactly. It gets to the point where it's like, look, I've asked. I'm not one of those people. I'm not like, I wasn't yelling at these people because I know it's not their fault. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like they're in the warehouse. I was just like, look, I just want I want someone to notice what's going on here and make some sort of change to your warehouse or something. You know what I mean? And it's just gotten to that point where it's like, I'm over it, man. I'm just gonna do the best.
Did you tell them?
What's up?
You send them an email and go, that's it. I'm going fishing.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going fishing over at the old Best Buy.
Yep.
And I'll just pick it up like a man with my 2 hands from the store. I don't need no delivery man coming to my door with my banged up package.
But yeah, anyway, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is out on the eShop for $59.99.
Thank you for bearing with my rant, folks.
No, I appreciate it. Beautiful. Well, thank you for coming to the eShop Roundup. It's always good to hear. And yes, it's time to go and stop at the YouTube Saloon. Yes, here we are at the YouTube Saloon. I'm really excited about this week. I think it is a great week for our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Which we'll talk more, but why don't you talk about the mini play?
Yes, I have been playing Metroid Zero Mission it's actually for Nintendo World Report's Patreon. We have a bi-monthly exclusive game club where we play a game and we talk with the Patreons, and then we do a podcast. So I've been playing through that, but I figured what a perfect time to kill 2 birds with a single stone. So I did a nice little mini play, and it works out great because I'm almost all the way through it, and I'll probably talk about it on the show at some point, probably next week. But it's great timing because, it's leading up to Samus Returns, which is, a remake of Metroid 2. So I'm happy to go back and play the remake of Metroid 1. And, yeah, the game looks great. It's a lot of fun. And I think the mini play is it's pretty funny and sort of embarrassing because I was still getting...
so gorgeous.
Still getting my legs, my sea legs underneath me. So you get to see some real bad Metroid play.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And the challenge for this week is my favorite one yet. We did the original Donkey Kong for the NES through very weird means of emulation, and it's comically ridiculous how bad the Wii U Virtual Console is. I can't believe it.
Yeah, you know what? When we were talking, for those who have not watched the video or plan to, just a little heads up going into it, Perry played on the Wii U Virtual Console, and I played with the Retron 5, and I actually was playing the Game Boy NES Classic, the Game Boy Advance NES Classic cartridge. Which is funny that they released a cartridge of just the original Donkey Kong arcade game.
Right. But it looks good.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
You can see that the versions are are identical. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like big changes. The only thing is that you know what I mean. Like, one of them is you can see the game, and the other one you can't.
It really is like I you know, obviously when we're recording these things, we don't. You know, I can't see his screen at the time, so we were like, oh, it's probably going to look quite different. And then when you get into editing, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I get a text from Casey. Oh my goodness, the difference.
Like, way different, man. That was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. But I really loved watching that, even though I played it, but it was really fun. So check that out, Donkey Kong Arcade Challenge. Good stuff. Now, that's not it for the YouTube Saloon, because we're also going to introduce a new thing on the YouTube Saloon called Shout Out Time. And that's not a real title. I just made it up right now.
Shout Out Time!
Yeah. At the YouTube
Saloon.
Yeah, that's what we should call it. We should call it, Hey!
Pikmin!
Like, Hey Pikmin. Yeah. Let's just call it Hey Pikmin. These are our Pikmin pals. Anyway, yeah, we get really nice emails from people and comments on YouTube and tweets and stuff. And I just, we both thought it'd be nice to give people some shout outs. So, Nathan Sherwinski, he always sends in some good emails. And Eric Mitchell, that he just emailed us a big long email about how he came to listen to the show and how he likes it. And, He called us a couple of clowns, but no.
That was so funny. Yeah.
No, but in good fun.
No, that was a really
because we
nice
are a couple
email.
of clowns. No, it was, and also of course Gary Croxford, our right hand man,
Big Gary from up north,
and Lemonade, our good friend from, from up north, but Gary's from over the ocean, but now he's up north, and then Lemonade is
from down under.
From down under. There you go. And then you got good old Dan.
Yeah. Well, he's somewhere.
Yep.
Nowhere to be found when you need him for Splatoon, that's for sure.
Good old Dan. All right, but thank you guys for all your support, and everyone else, of course. There's a lot more. But yes, we love getting emails. So if you're listening to this right now, just send us an email. It's fun. I like emails.
Talk Nintendo podcast at Nintendo World Report. You can send in questions, comments, concerns, anything. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, totally. And we did the contest last week.
Woo!
For Chicken Wiggle, baby. Do the Chicken Wiggle. And we gave away 2 codes. One of them was for YouTube subscribers, and one of them was for Twitter subscribers.
Nope.
Or followers.
Nope.
No?
Remember, it was you picked the winner of the best Chicken Wiggle name.
Oh, that's right.
You silly Sally.
No, but it was on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes, so our YouTube winner was Dex. That was Dex, right? Dex Traff.
He was the YouTube winner. Yes, sir.
Yes. So congratulations to him.
Yes,
he was going to. He already had it.
Yep, he had the copy of the game, and he is going to give the copy he won from us to his little sister. So I thought that was awfully nice of him.
That's a good big brother.
Yes, sir.
And then our Twitter contest, whatever.
Yeah.
Original name. I don't know what you call it. Is that what we're going with? Original name contest?
The OG name? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the it is the Twitter contest, yes.
There you go. Yes, Shad Welch. He tweeted in Doom and such. I just thought that was great.
Well, I can't wait to
Especially
see
for Chicken Wiggle.
I can't wait to see what
Yes.
kind of level you design around that.
I know, and maybe I'll try to find someone. Maybe I'll find someone on staff who could stream it, and just record it.
Yeah, it's
That'd be nice because that's what stinks is we can't do that for 3DS games. Dang it, Jules! Put it on the Switch.
yeah, we need it.
Yeah. So we'll figure out somehow to get that, and then I will give you the code for that. We'll talk about it next week for sure. So thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we got tons of subscribers on YouTube. I mean, I think we went from 30 and now we're close to 90. So that was amazing.
It was a great turnout.
And of course, thanks to Jules Watcham for the codes. He's the man with the plan. And anyway, that's gonna do it for our The YouTube Saloon.
And now it is time for
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Alrighty.
Yes.
And now I alluded to this first bit of news in the opening of the show. The Miiverse, its life is coming to an end. In just a couple months.
Yeah.
Now, you still have, all of September, all of October, and a little bit into November. November 8th will be the end of the Miiverse on all platforms, including the 3DS. And it's a sad day. I mean, the Miiverse, I think it had some really good ideas. Ultimately, I don't... It did some good things, it did some bad things, like much of the things Nintendo does or do. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about this?
I don't use Miiverse ever now, and I like the idea, of course, but it was always janky and hard to use because of how long it took. I really like the feeling of talking with people, kind of like like a Twitter for Nintendo gamers. I think that's great, but like I just remember, for instance, like playing like Yoshi's New Island. I remember I would ask like, where do you find this this certain flower, whatever, and then you get answers and help, and I love that, because it didn't feel like cheating or anything. It felt like you were asking other players and talking. So
like you said, it felt like you were sort of in the playground. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So it's sad, of course, but it also makes sense because it's like part of me is like, oh, that's sad, and then part of me is like, you know what? Get your dang resources off of Miiverse and do something else.
Well, what's sort of interesting is
get it back on the Nintendo TV.
Poor Europe. Now, Miiverse and Super Mario Maker are sort of linked together, sort of deeply, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a huge list of stuff that's going to be shut down. Did you see that?
I did. I mean,
it's crazy.
I wonder how they're going to get around some of these things,
And like tipping stars.
Yeah.
That's you can't download like new levels. Like, it's insane.
That's so weird.
So, super weird. Yeah, super weird. But I'm sure they're coming out with a new. That's definitely gonna happen. A new Mario versus Donkey Kong for Switch.
Oh,
that is
yeah.
So happening, like very soon.
What, do you have some insider information?
Maybe. We did remember Thomas. He was talking about how he worked at Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And remember, I was just thinking how funny it was how he said that. I remember he was working on Elliot Quest, so he would actually email himself.
Yeah, so he'd get to do work on his things.
Yeah, so he could literally talk with like NST on his work hours.
It's amazing, yeah.
That is such a great idea. Yeah. Anyway,
game in the system.
Yep. I just thought of him because if anyone, he'd be the insider because he worked with people at NST.
I was going to say,
Anyway,
disclaimer,
no.
we don't have any insider information on that.
No, we do not have any insider information about anything. So
We're just two chuckleheads yamming around.
Yep, we're
about,
just two clowns.
Yep, yeah, couple clown show. All right, why don't you take this next little bit of information, because I'm sure you're going to like it.
Yeah. Splatoon 2 is selling 7 times faster than the original Splatoon.
Makes sense.
It does. It sure does make sense. It makes me happy. I play Splatoon all the time. I love it. Oh, it's funny because my friend, I just think it's crazy. My friend moved back in town. He had a Switch, and I just told him about Splatoon, and he bought it. And he saw it in the eShop, and he loved it. He thought it looked fun. He's not like a huge gamer or anything. He's really not.
Yet. We're going to turn him.
Yeah. And we've been playing with him, and he's really getting the hang of it. But of course, we still can't play League mode with him.
Oh, I know. We'll probably never be able to.
I know.
Well, you know what? It's funny seeing a player, who clearly he didn't play, Splatoon 1, and he was, new to it. So it's fun to see his growth in such a short period of time, too, because he's gotten, exponentially better.
Exactly. Yeah. It's amazing. It's, I just don't think he's not a shooter player at all, So when you get those people, I think obviously that your Call of Duty skills are, transfer over to shooting skills, obviously, right? If you're not used to playing shooters, then...
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's going to be weird. And so he wasn't. And he did the motion, too. So he learned the correct way instead of the bad way like me. But
you don't play motion, right?
I don't.
You monster.
It just felt weird to me at first, so I didn't commit to it. And
well, yeah, now there's
so
no
funny.
turning back.
It's so funny because it's like when I play guitar and I taught myself basically, and I hold the pick wrong.
You hold it like a real Jimmy?
I've played that way for over 15 years, so it's like I can't change it really.
Yeah, once you've
not
done,
really. It's kind of the same kind of thing.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks, Perry.
That's right. But I think you can teach an old dog new tricks.
I don't know.
I bet I could teach my pug new tricks. Anyway.
Oh, that pug.
Yeah. There's this. I follow all these boxer, these boxer dog things on Facebook, and there's this group of, it's a boxer and it's a pug, and they're the cutest things. And I always go, there's me and Casey.
You know what you need to do? I don't know if you have an Instagram. I know, people are huge into dog kind of. I have a friend who he's really into pugs too, and I know he's I'm follow the pug community on Instagram, and there's tons of people who post all their pics.
Yeah. That's all my Facebook is. It's
gotcha.
It's dog.
Yeah. Well, what's nice about Instagram, it's literally
else.
just pictures,
Yeah, totally. That's a good point. Maybe that's what I'll do with Instagram. I'll just turn into dog. It'll just be my happy dog. Because you turn it on, and it's like, aww, and you go back to work.
And what's good about Instagram, you just tailor what your feed is. It's just dogs and Nintendo. Bam, bam.
Yep.
But
Yep. That
being said, to sort of couple along with this Splatoon 2 selling 7 times faster, we've got some Japanese sales figures. Now, as of August 27th, the Switch has sold 1.5 million units in Japan, which is quite a few. And coupled with that, over 1 million copies of Splatoon 2. Now, that's over a 66% attachment rate, which, can you say system seller?
Yeah, obviously. Yes, I can. System seller.
You passed!
Yeah. That's amazing. That's awesome. I remember listening to Nintendo Voice Chat, and they said that when they went to Japan, and they were talking to, and every single Japanese person asked them about Splatoon 2.
Dude, the Japanese people love them some Splatoon, man. I'm so happy. I mean, because that means, first and foremost, that means Splatoon is going nowhere, ever. And, it's just, I just love
And
seeing.
I love Splatoon so much.
Yeah, I love seeing Nintendo succeed. So.
Yep. Well, and we all knew that Samus Returns has a reversible cover. Like it has always had that in our measly, stupid special edition North American copies, right? Like it comes with a CD and a reversible cover, and that's it. Well, we haven't seen it until like today or yesterday, and it looks like the Game Boy game Metroid 2.
It looks so good.
It looks so cool.
And
looks so cool.
It's so funny to think. Normally, I'm not much of like I don't need a reversible cover. I like the one they give me. Right. But Nintendo has been killing it on these reversible covers.
Yeah.
Splatoon looks so good. Metroid.
Fire Emblem.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, Nintendo, please.
Man, was that Fire Emblem
Echoes?
Was that just for the special edition?
I believe so.
Okay, because I didn't even think about that because I have that physical one.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's for the physical. I mean, excuse me.
Okay.
The collector's edition only.
Gotcha. All right. Well, speaking of collector's edition Fire Emblem games,
we've got another one on the docket, and it's actually sort of funny because it actually yielded us the release date too over a tweet. So Nintendo.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So Nintendo tweeted out a picture of the collector's edition, which includes a 3 CD soundtrack, a poster, a pack of 5x7 art cards, and this is going to retail for $79.99.
Did you mention the game?
Yes. Sorry, I did not mention it, but it obviously, yes, it comes with the game as well, and
no, but did you mention what the game was?
Maybe Fire Emblem Warriors. I thought we did.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't think we said Warriors.
Sorry, yes, Fire Emblem Warriors.
Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yes.
Okay.
Now this was a game they had kept saying fall 2017, and we're like, is it gonna come? We don't know, and it is indeed coming October 20th. Sort of a weird way to announce the release date for what you'd assume is a pretty big title. I mean, it's got Fire Emblem on it.
Right.
I mean, obviously it's not going to have as much cachet as Hyrule Warriors because Zelda is, unbelievable.
Crazy that we're getting another huge Switch game launch in October.
Well, I thought it was interesting it's a week before Odyssey.
Yeah. Crazy.
And now we don't really have a November game set in place yet.
Right.
There's still time. I was talking to Justin Bruby, staffer on Nintendo World Report, and because I think I tweeted out, I was like, a week before Odyssey, like, that's sort of weird. And he's like, maybe Smash 4 port for November?
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, like, Nintendo World Championships, could you imagine? Like, they were like, and you could pick up Smash for Switch in November.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes sense. It's kind of unprecedented, right? For how late of a announcement. But remember all those rumors?
Yeah.
Like, remember all those Smash rumors for the launch of the Switch?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a port. It'd be a port. You'd assume there'd be some sort of extra content, maybe a couple new playable characters, so that might be, something to consider, but
Waluigi, baby. It's not gonna happen.
No, now,
anyway.
I wonder, we don't have a release date for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I know that's holiday, so I guess technically November
that could be.
isn't holiday, but I don't know. I mean,
crazy.
I mean, time will tell. I wonder if we'll have another direct sometime in September to sort of flesh out the rest of the year, because we still need to hear about Skyrim when that release date is. Yeah. Rocket League. There's some sizable titles still on the way that we don't know dates for.
Oh yeah, and I don't think you have that in here, but we didn't. Did we talk about Rocket League? About the DLC? About the new?
Was that?
I don't think we've talked about it.
Yeah, I guess that sort of came out. I forgot when the news came out. I thought we had covered it last week, but if we did not, which I don't think we did, because now thinking back to it, I don't remember. Why don't you mention it? You give us the deets.
Rocket League is gonna have like Nintendo themed cars and stuff. I mean, they've already announced like Mario and Luigi.
Which you'd sort of expect,
cars.
right? You'd sort of expect something like that going in, but
what I didn't expect is what is it, Case?
That Metroid, or the Samus car, I should say.
The ship. Yeah. Oh, it looks so cool.
It is so nice. It is so nice. I cannot wait.
Dude, you know what I was just thinking about today? And
was it a Whopper?
No.
But now you're thinking about it.
This gave me the cons. I thought of, what about Metroid Prime 4? What if it's this huge world and there's like that you can get into vehicles and stuff? I was like that, and you could actually like get into a ship or into like a car.
Fly to different planets.
Well, maybe not different planets, but around the planet, or yeah. But I was thinking, man, wouldn't that be so cool? I would love to be able to get into different, like, and that change into like a tank mode. Wouldn't that be cool?
I'm down with that.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I was just thinking about that, and this reminded me of it. Okay. Anyway, so that's cool for Rocket League. I'm pumped about that game. That's another game that will totally be in our online rotation.
Oh yeah. That's
we're setting it up. It's setting it up so good. I mean, I cannot.
Our Wii U rotation was pretty small. Our Switch one is going to be pretty robust.
Yep, totally. Yeah.
Now,
so
to follow up
next
that
up,
good news, we've got a little bad news.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know if it's bad. It's news.
Disappointing, maybe.
Maybe.
To some.
I don't know. There you go. Runner 3 has been delayed till 2018.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Runner fan, but Runner 3 looks real good from the trailers we've seen. So it's a little disappointing, but you know what? If they need some extra time to polish it off and make it a better game, there are so many games coming out from now to the end of the year. It's like, I am exactly. A-okay with this.
I mean, we need 2018 games, so,
Yeah,
so
I don't need any more 2017 games. There's already too many.
I'm still trying to get sick of GoNNER.
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, actually, sort of real quick to double back to the Fire Emblem Collector's Edition, the Warriors game. I actually got it on Amazon the other day when it went up, and I was like, because initially I'm like, I'm not gonna get Fire Emblem Warriors. Then the Collector's Edition went up, and I just, without even thinking, I'm like, get it. And then today I canceled it.
Oh,
I was like,
you did cancel.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, first and foremost, if that game's anything like Hyrule Warriors, it's going to be 100+ hours of content, and I don't have enough time to play the games I have now. And that is low on the totem pole,
Yep, that's how I am. So I'll get it on a sale. Anywho, speaking of a sale, the Telltale Games have confirmed 2 new games for Switch. Or I should say there are 2 new Telltale games being confirmed for Switch. One of them is the Batman game.
Yes, sir.
Which looks pretty sweet. And the other one is the Guardians of the Galaxy game. So I know they just released the Minecraft story mode one. So yeah, that's interesting, I guess.
Telltale Games, it seems like a good fit for the Switch, to have on the go. And, they're not, like, super graphically impressive games, or anything. But I know they've got really cool story and, your choices matter. And people really seem to love them. So I think just bring more games people want to play. Keep them coming.
And speaking of brand new games that people want to play.
Have you ever wanted to play Street Fighter 2 again? But
I don't think I've ever even wanted to play it.
Well, now you can get a brand new playable Super Nintendo game for the
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. For the 30th anniversary, they are going to be releasing 5,500 of these SNES playable Street Fighter 2 cartridges. Now, what's weird is apparently there are going to be 1,000 of those initial 5,500 will be glow in the dark, and it'll just be completely random. From what I read, it said it was going to be random. So I was like, okay.
All right.
It comes with a tri-fold box, a premium instruction booklet, some retro pack-in surprises, and all of this could be yours for $100.
Whoa.
Pretty steep price tag, but
Whoa.
I guess if you are a big Street Fighter 2 fan, you know what I mean, it might be something. I mean, I guess the appeal is it's limited, so they're going to charge you for it.
Right.
But yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, man, that's a lot of news. But let's take a break, a little musical break. And when we come back, we're going to have the topic of the show be about the Nindie Showcase that was this morning.
I hope
So
you
stay
guys
tuned for
like
that.
Nindies.
I hate them. And welcome back to Talk Nintendo Podcast. We had a special little video go up this morning that made us delay our normal Tuesday night routine into a Wednesday night routine. And that was the Nindie Showcase. And we had one earlier this year that showed off a bunch of really awesome games that I remember made me super excited for the Switch. And yeah, they showed off a lot.
I believe the number was 20.
20. And now, I mean, let's see. I mean, the only one some of them most of them are brand new. I've never even heard of. Is what I'm trying to say. So.
Yeah, I think some people were expecting like Stardew Valley dates and ukulele
Yeah,
updates, but this was just a hard-hitting new Nindies coming to Nintendo, you know?
Yeah, so we're going to quick fire go through them, talk about what we think of them, because there's 20 of them. We don't have to be, we could easily spend an hour on each of them.
Hungry and boys and girls, we're going to be here another 14 hours.
Yep. Jeez. Okay, but the first one, or I think, I was like a minute late to the stream.
Nope, that was the first one.
Okay, first one, Super Meat Boy Forever.
Boom, the sequel.
I guess it's a sequel.
Yep.
I mean, it's a different game. It's a different kind of game.
It said sequel.
No, I did say sequel, but it's a runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a platformer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a classic NES styled sequel where they take the game and then just completely change it.
It's more like to me, it's more like Super Mario Run to Super Mario Bros.
Well, no, I was making the joke of like Zelda 1 to 2 is so different.
No,
like
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I've never
awesome.
played Meat Boy at all. So,
yes. Well, this year I saw on Twitter, Meat Boy will be coming out.
Yep, I saw that too. So that's great news.
I'm definitely gonna get that on Switch because I had an Xbox One, and I did not like the D-pad at all, and I wanted to get it on Wii U, but it was like so late, and it's like, so the Switch.
Yeah,
boom.
you figured it would be coming to the Switch most likely.
Yeah.
And so that was really good news. I was glad to see that they got out on Twitter and was like, we got Meat Boy coming, and then we've got Super Meat Boy Forever, and that is coming in 2018.
Beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that. The next one they had up was King Knight.
Yes, sir. Now this is the last DLC promised, I believe, from the Kickstarter of Shovel Knight, correct?
Yep.
So now, as we've sort of said before on the podcast, we're really excited to see what the guys at Yacht Club Games have in store for us next. And I think once they fulfill this last Kickstarter requirement, I'm excited to see if they're going to move on to a new project. You know what I mean? Whether that be Shovel Knight 2, whether that just be a completely new IP. But they do some great work, so I'm excited. But they give us quite a bit of news on the King Knight here. There are going to be 4 new worlds, over 30 all new courses, a signature bash attack, and there's some sort of card battle, right?
Yeah, it's like a mini game thing that you can play like in between levels, and Yeah, I didn't touch too much on it, but it was a card battling game, so.
Looks pretty cool. And now this is also in 2018, but they indicated early 2018. So.
Boom. Yep. So looking forward to that. Those guys are great. Yacht Club. Talked to him at PAX. We'll talk to him again, probably around the time of its release. Actually, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
They'll be pimping out King Knight there. Now this next game is probably one of the most ones I'm excited for.
Really?
Serious? Yeah.
Now this game is Mom Hid My Game. And not only is this coming to the Switch, but it's also coming to the 3DS with both will have exclusive stages. And now this game is coming out late this year.
Yeah.
I believe this was actually a port of an iOS game.
Something like that.
And from what I looked, you can get this game for free on iOS.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you were interested, you could try it out on iOS. Obviously, like they indicated here, there are going to be exclusive stages coming to the 3DS and Switch version. So, maybe you want to wait for that, but it is an option.
It just looks like wacky. It looks like Japanese style humor.
I like the character. He sort of reminds me of Bobby Hill with his long socks on.
Yes. But next up we have a game that I think one of your most anticipated games.
Easily.
And mine, for sure.
Golf Story, baby. Oh, I cannot wait. This is, when I first saw them show this off a couple months ago, I was like, this looks like the Mario Golf Camelot games, you know what I mean? Like, that like the RPG elements, like the game we want. It sort of reminds me also of like Wargrove, how it's like that's the Advance Wars game we want, but Nintendo won't give us. This feels like the game we want that Nintendo won't give us, and they're like, we got this.
Beautiful.
Now, it's an RPG.
It looks awesome.
It's got a diverse cast of characters. What is cool, it's not only golf, there's also like disc golf and drone flights.
And mini golf.
And it just... Also, I think Donald Terrio said it on Twitter, but someone did. It sort of looks like Stardew Golf. It sort of has that Stardew Valley look to it, like graphically. And, I don't know, it looks really great. And the best thing is, it comes out this September, exclusive to the Switch.
Woo-wee! Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Wait.
I'm excited. Upgrades and all that nonsense.
Oh, it's going to be great.
I love good RPG elements. Cool. Now,
this next one's a strange one.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, it is. Floor Kids. Boogie Scribbles. Oh, live.
Breakdancing.
Hundreds of moves.
Rhythm-based action.
Play the way you like.
That's physical or touch controls.
First on Switch this holiday.
This game looks bizarre.
Yes, it does. It's like a breakdancing game, and it's rhythmy. It looks kind of fun though. Like
I'm just thinking of the trailer. It's just like 4 different kids just breakdancing, and you're like, okay.
Exactly. It looks very weird, and it's just called Floor Kids. I love the logo too.
The graphics, it looks like pencil drawn with like it looks really cool, like graphically. I like the appearance. It's like a rhythm game. I mean, initially I looked at it and I was like, I don't know, but I also could see it being one of those games where people are like, guys, like, this is actually a lot of fun. You should check it out. Mm-hmm. Now, did we get a date for that? Holiday 2017.
Yep. This holiday, yep.
So that's another game coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, and another game coming out really soon is Wolverblades.
This game looks sort of interesting too.
Which one was this again?
I think it's like the hack and slash.
It's like
game, right?
side scrolling like hack and slash. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can play co-op. Yeah, it's funny because I was watching it on a website, the Spotlight or the Showcase on a website, and it had like a watermark in the corner where all the logos were, and I couldn't
Oh god,
I couldn't read them, and I thought it was Wolvip Blade. But it's Wolverblade, which doesn't make any more sense. But
I think this game, this is the one that was sort of like based on like historical from Great Britain or something, right? Some historical events or let's see, yeah, Britain's blood-soaked history. I guess it was originally supposed to be an Xbox One game when they were like really doing their indie initiative early on, and I guess it's made the jump over to the old switcheroo, and yeah, it looks pretty interesting. This is one of those games I don't know if I'm going to pick up, but it looks sort of cool.
Totally. Yeah,
and it's coming out, like you said, soon, September. Not exclusive to the Switch, but to the Switch first.
Yep. Cool. Now, I know this game is very, very, very fun looking.
Oh, yes.
Totally up your alley, for sure. Poly Bridge.
Yeah, I've seen tons of GIFs of like really crazy bridges and really weird things. It's a physics-based game, and you build a bridge, and I guess, I don't know exactly, I guess it's just you got to get to the other side, and, you know, it sort of differentiates. I saw in part of the trailer, it looked like there was like a balloon hanging, as like maybe that's sort of like you can get to the other side, but if you get this balloon and get to the other side, that's sort of like the bonus challenge, you know?
Right.
So I wonder how much that plays into it. But this is a game, like I said, I've seen a lot on the internet of people really enjoying it. So I'm on board for this one.
Cool. Awesome. That's this holiday. Switch console exclusive. So we'll be hearing more on that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It does actually look kind of fun. Yeah. Now this next game is interesting.
Yeah, this one, I don't know how to feel about this one.
Yeah, Kentucky Route Zero. TV edition. It is an adventure game, I believe.
Yeah, I would say so. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, really cool visuals and a crazy story about like an antique deliverer that goes to a house that's haunted or something. I don't know. Damon Baker was saying it, and it was just sounded like a crazy story.
It sort of gives me, at least I took some screenshots of during the presentation. It sort of has that like limbo-y-esque look to it, with lots of like black like in the foreground, black shadows,
but with color.
Yeah, there's definitely color involved, but like it gives off that very like dark and moody kind of a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
That's gonna be one I'm going to keep my eyes on to see some impressions and how it looks, because it sounds interesting, you know. I'm definitely excited to see what that game has in store for us, and that is coming in early 2018.
Yeah, it looks really unique and cool. So yeah, I'm excited for that too. All these games are really different. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, all of them are so different. This next one is a game we talked about last week, actually, with Justination. Earth Atlantis. Now, we knew it as Original Journey, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was. I think it was renamed. This is a Chinese-developed game.
Dude, that is so funny, because when I saw it, I was like, oh wow, that must be from the same people that are bringing over Original Journey. Like, I didn't realize that it had just been renamed. I think much better name.
Oh yeah, Earth Atlantis. It's really cool.
I would say not that I love Earth Atlantis, you know what I mean, name, but I just think Original Journey is so first and foremost, it's
Weird
not
and
really that
vague
great. And like I said, to me, I was just like, oh, is that like, are they referring to the original Journey game that was so successful, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that's what my first impression was, so I'm glad they made
Right.
that change. Like I said, yeah, we talked about that. Really cool art style. Pretty interesting looking. And that's another
Yeah.
game coming out this fall.
Yep, on Switch first. So, yeah. Now, this next up game is from the Scribble Knights. Knights.
The Knights of the Scribble Order.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Like, I might have just come up with something brand new there. This is the Scribble Knots team and the Drawn to Life team. Or I don't know if it's team. It might just be the guy. I don't know exactly what's going on there. But yeah. Next up, Hero. This is an interesting game. It's a community game, in the sense of you fight with these little characters, and when you die, other people, like your ghost is there, and other people can come.
Yeah, they can come and
Do
like
something.
recruit your dead ghost, and then that, like, I don't know if they come back to life or if they're just in ghost form, but then they fight alongside you.
Yeah.
So pretty
So-
interesting. The art style's cutesy wootsy, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Just like all the
And,
Scribble Knights and.
That one's coming out early 2018, and they made a point
at
to
the
show
very
that
end.
it is Joy-Con co-op. So it seems like it might be a game that's relatively easy to pick up and play and sort of get your bearings, you know.
Yeah.
And sounds good to me.
It's probably a good girlfriend/boyfriend game.
Yes.
You know.
Get those
So,
non-gamers gaming.
Yeah. Now, this next one.
This
Looks
little
so
old
good.
title.
Yeah, Steam World Dig 2. Man, I'm excited for this game. And we got a release date.
And it's
An
soon.
actual date. Yeah. Man, what is today? 30th? Yeah, like 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
September 21st, baby.
World premiere on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh man, I can't wait to play. Faster and huge in scope compared to the last one. Open world, can't wait. I thought the trailer was hilarious. I thought the music was weird and the narrator was really weird. I just listened to it again. It just does not fit. I don't know. I don't know if that's the feeling they're going for, but it's funny.
Yeah. We know. I don't want to say we know, but that should be a very good game. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I mean we'll wait and see, but yeah, I mean we've played it. It's great. Remember
That guy before
remember
us.
at PAX? Yeah,
I'll never
so
forget
funny.
rolling his eyes like, oh man, this guy, what's he doing?
Yeah, we were waiting for the guy to play, and so we're interviewing the guy, and the guy behind it, like the guy in front of us, is just so bad at the game.
Yeah, we're waiting to get our interview to sort of sync up with our gameplay. You know, Perry was going to be playing, and I was going to be asking the questions, and we're just waiting for this guy. He's on the boss of the demo, and it's an easy boss. You know, it's a demo. It's not supposed to be overly hard. Whew, this guy.
Now, and hold on.
Now, I don't know his name, but I'd assume it's Jim.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I say that I forgot the guy that we interviewed.
Yeah, I know. I'm brain farting at the moment.
Had image and form, but he was such a nice guy, and he wasn't like a snob or anything. It was more like a
little eye roll.
It was
just
a very
to us,
little,
like
yeah. It was a cutesy wootsy thing. It wasn't like a legitimately he's mad because of the scrub playing his game. Just to put that out there, that's the nicest people in the world. Super nice, image and form. Anyway, yes, can't wait. Now, this next game, interesting. I'd like to know what you think of it. Mulaka.
I am actually very, very excited for this game. I thought it looked rad.
Now, have you heard of this game before?
I have not.
Okay, me neither. Now, this is it looks like a Zelda game. Like, it plays like a Zelda game. 3D Zelda game. But with, weird visuals, like 64 visuals almost.
Yeah,
you
it's,
know what I mean?
Yeah, the
low
character
texture
model
stuff, like no textures.
Yeah, the character model is very like polygonally, and if that's a word. And then like I took a screenshot and like looking at like trees in the clouds, there's no like it's not smoothed over. You know what I mean? To make like a nice round object, it's very much like
hard edges and stuff.
But I think
looks cool.
I think that's what looks cool about it. The colors are, very very colorful game.
Yeah, no, totally. And I was just gonna say the only thing that got me worried a little, but I don't know if it's actually going for this either, is the frame rate looked really low and kind of buggy while I was watching it. Which just like an N64 game would look. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. We'll see.
I'll have to check back and look at the trailer. I
don't know. It was just weird. It looked like it was running at like 20 frames, and so it's interesting to me. But it looked cool. Looked really cool.
And that's coming with exclusive features and functionality to the Switch in early 2018. So, again, none of these games were that far off, really. So, now this next one, oh my goodness. It might just be the cutest little game I've ever done seen. And it is...
Just call it Yono.
Now, this is a very cute-looking game. You are the most adorable little elephant ever. And it looks very much...
like a chibi elephant.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, he is.
It looks very much like a Zelda game. I watched the extended trailer, and you've got, you're pushing blocks around, sort of, classic Zelda puzzles. There's pots and stuff to break. What's cool is you can, obviously you're an elephant, you got that big old snout and trunk. You pick up water and different items and shoot them across to hit things, and it just looks really, really, really cute and really, really fun, and I'm super duper excited. I'd say, of the Direct, it's not my number one because that is Golf Story. But this is up there. I'm really excited for this. And we're not going to have to wait long, are we?
No, it comes out October 12th as a console exclusive.
Dude, wow. The Switch killing it right now.
Yep. Man, there's so many games. Including this next one, this from Inti Creates.
Real quick, when he was like,
yes,
they know games, they've brought, like Blaster Master Zero and Mighty, and I was like, he's not gonna quote Mighty Number 9, is he? And then he said Mighty Gun Burst, and I was like,
oh yeah, no, they're not gonna quote Mighty Number 9.
That would have been so good.
Yeah,
a little tongue in cheek,
Yeah, totally. It's a
Dragon Marked for Death. It's a side-scrolling action RPG that you can play alone or with up to 3 friends via local or online play. No matter what, you'll forge a pact with a dragon to gain new strength. Protect the party as a warrior. Become the empress of attack.
Yeah, side-scrolling RPG co-op, and it does look really cool. It looks way different from what I was expecting. I was like, are they gonna announce another Blaster Master? Or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they touched on DLC or something.
And now that is actually a Switch exclusive coming this winter. So another exclusive game coming to the Switch.
Cool. Yep. So like I said, their games they've had out now are good. They're really good. So I've liked what they have so far. So they've yet to Mighty Number 9 me. Next up, let's see. We have 6 more games left. Jeez.
Woo!
Battle Chef Brigade. One of these combination games.
Yeah, It looks interesting. I guess it has action portions. Like I've got a screenshot here. You sort of looks like you're doing a little platforming, and there's some enemies and whatnot. But then you get into sections where it's like match 3 puzzles. So pretty interesting. I think that's actually from Adult Swim Games and Trinket Studios. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. That's coming out holiday 2017. That was one of those games that didn't jump off the page at me, but I'm I'm interested to see what it turns out to be, and that is coming to the Nintendo Switch first, which is cool.
This holiday. Yep.
Now this next game, man.
Ooh.
This game looks super cool. It is called Morphe's Law. So
That's
good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
it's a third-person shooter, 4v4.
I've got a screenshot here. It just says massively Morphe player.
Whatever the heck that means. Yeah. Really cool idea for a game, for a shooter. As you shoot people, you steal their mass from them. They get smaller, you get bigger. So you become a bigger target.
And they become harder to hit.
Yes, and then I don't exactly know what the whole point of the game is. Like, I don't know what the end point is exactly yet.
Well, did you see those the two huge like giants?
Yeah,
I believe.
Oh yeah, whichever one's taller.
Yeah, whichever one's taller at the end. So I believe it's like as you steal mass from the other players and like kill them and whatnot, your giant also gets bigger. So it's like a race to see whose giant can. I don't know if it's going to be like whoever's giant is bigger after 5 minutes, or if it's like whoever's giant hits this threshold first. But looks really cool. I mean, I know we have like Splatoon as a shooter, you know what I mean? But it's definitely an interesting take on the shooter genre, and this is definitely a game I'm going to pick up.
Oh yeah, yep. It comes out local multiplayer only.
Yeah. Oh, that would be terrible.
Oh, I didn't realize this was made by Nintendo.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, gotcha. I was like, wait, what?
Because it's local only.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now this is coming this winter, excuse me, and it is a Nintendo Switch console exclusive.
Is it? I think it's just coming.
I've got the screenshot right here, my friend. Nintendo Switch console exclusive.
Bada bim, bada boom. Interesting. Very cool. That's definitely one on my buy list. So
put it in the rotation.
Now next up. Sausage Sports Club.
I'm in.
Enough said.
Yeah. Interesting. It's going to be one of those games that are like you're going to get brought in because it's funny and stupid. Sausage Sports Club, you know? But
right.
I could see it being like one of those like, oh, it brings you in because it's silly, but then like maybe it's actually real good, you know?
Oh yeah. No, it looked fun.
And
it's a bunch of different sports games, right?
Yeah, I believe like a little like compilation of sports games, so
yeah.
That would be a game depending on the price point I might be in. Coming to the Switch first, and that is coming in fall of 2017, so probably not too much longer off at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Now
next up, I don't know. It's Light Fingers.
Weird name.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember which one this game was.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't either. I think my phone, like I went to take a screenshot and I turned off the stream for a hot second, so I sort of missed this game. We know it's like a procedurally generated, but yeah, honestly, just looking at the screen, I'm not really getting much from here. I don't know, that one, Little Fingers, coming this, early next year, 2018.
Yeah, it's like looking at the, interesting, it's like an isometric platformer game. It looks, I don't know what's going on in this trailer. Yeah, check it out. It looks nice. I just don't exactly know what's going on. So, yeah.
This next game.
Light Fingers.
Let me take this
one. Yeah, go for it.
9 Parchments. This game looks awesome. It's like a 4-player co-op RPG action. It looks like Gauntlet Legends. That's exactly the first thing that came to mind. You know, you're sort of going around. You've got magic skills. They're bosses, and you sort of gotta
Yes.
avoid, their attacks, and you work together. Looks really, really cool. I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, this is made by Frozen Byte, and it's in the Trine series world.
Like, yeah, the universe.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it looks beautiful. I mean, those Trine games always looked really nice too.
Oh man, gorgeous! I couldn't believe how good those games look.
So I'm really excited. I believe now. When I said it's got online multiplayer. I'm like 99.3% sure of that, which is
Yeah.
going to be great because that's going to be a game that if you don't buy,
So we could play.
that I'm going to have to buy for you, so that we can
Alright.
play because that game
Done.
looks really, really cool. And like,
Hey, I'm not gonna buy.
yeah, you're like, no, that game, no way.
Okay, I guess you can buy it for me.
Yeah, well, it's coming out this holiday, so maybe it'll be a little Christmas gift.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll take it. Boom.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Okay. So this last game was a bit of a shocker, right? I thought this was the big announcement, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I feel bad because I feel like I don't have the appreciation I should have for it because I've never played the previous games.
Me either.
But this gives me time, I guess, to go through them. But Suda51 introduced their new No More Heroes game. Travis Strikes Again.
Oh, it looks so crazy.
It does look crazy.
Suda51, he's a crazy guy. So it's like, I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Grasshopper Manufacturer.
we didn't see any gameplay. We just really saw, like a trailer. And
Yeah,
I
but-
love the
yeah.
part when the guy's smashing the bat against the screen, and then you see it like directed by Suda51.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, to me, he sort of reminds me of like a Hideo Kojima. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he supersedes his games. You know what I mean? Like, I like that he puts his names on the game. Like, hey, I made that game. Like, it's gonna be synonymous with me. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Self-indulgent.
Which, you know what I mean, though? Like sometimes I feel like something like that can come off cocky or arrogant. You're like, forget that person. But I don't know. Suda51, like, I just think he's such like a interesting individual, And like you said, I've never played No More Heroes, and I definitely feel like I need to go back and play it before this comes out. Now, this was one of the games. I think it just said 2018, right? Like this game is probably quite a ways off.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a Nintendo Switch exclusive, which is nice.
Yeah. And it's not your standard game, I believe. I believe you play 6 like mini games. Like,
well, see, that's what I initially thought, right? I'm like,
Okay.
like, weird. Like, I mean, granted, like I said, I've never played No More Heroes, so it's like,
right.
like, if they changed up the gameplay, it's not like I'd really be able to tell the difference. But I went on Reddit afterwards, and, like, there was some confusion. It seems like maybe, like, I guess No More Heroes took place in a city, right? And you went around kicking everyone's butt, doing whatever you gotta do. I guess this one, it sounds more like it's just a good excuse to be like, we're going to take you in 6 radically different worlds, you know what I mean? So to be like,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to go play No More Heroes in, I'm just making something up, like the ocean area, and like, oh, I'm underwater fighting or something, or, oh, he's in Egypt fighting on the pyramids, or something like that, is sort of what it seemed like people on Reddit were thinking. Like, it would be No More Heroes gameplay, and it's just like a nice, easy way to have a very diverse game in sense of where it's taking place.
Right.
And if that's the case, that sounds great,
Totally. Yeah, I'm interested. I know that they're kind of crazy and wacky.
Yeah, and very, like,
to the extreme.
like, this
but
game is going to
I
be
like that.
rated M and probably have tons of blood and gore, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Which I'm down with. It's stylistic, Casey.
Yeah, no, I can't wait, man. Like I said, this game's 2018, which is great because it's going to give us some time. Maybe I demand we play some No More
there you go.
Heroes. I think that might have to be be done.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. I have a strict 530 pint limit of blood that I can see in a game. So once I hit that limit,
You just shelf
that's it.
That's it?
Yep.
You're going fishing?
I'm going fishing. So, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. I can't, there's so many games. 20 games today. Wow. My goodness.
You know what this feels like? It feels like the beginning of the PS4. When the PS4 first came out, they were very indie-focused, pushing indies all day. And it helps pad out the lineup, you know what I mean? Especially when, you know, these major companies can only develop so many games at one time and only get so many games out the door. So
Yeah.
I'm loving that Nintendo is getting in bed with all these indies, getting them in here, and like you mentioned before, they're all so different. And it's just
man.
giving such... The catalog is getting so diverse and big. And, like, of course, we're going to have these huge Nintendo games. Breath of the Wild, Odyssey. You know, we're going to get an Animal Crossing. We're going to get games like this. But it's nice that every single week we've got a couple smaller indie games, some bigger indie games coming, that are keeping the weight from the tentpole releases, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The in-between time is getting filled with these great, unique, interesting ideas. And, man, it's a good time to be alive.
It sure is. Best year of gaming.
Ever.
Yep. I'd say so. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our episode.
Yes, sir.
I do believe that we haven't really talked about it a lot, but this is our 1 year anniversary.
Yes, it's sort of funny that 1 year ago today we released our very first episode on SoundCloud, which probably got all of 6 listens. But yeah, it's crazy to think it's already been a year, and you know, this is episode 49. When we first started, we were bi-weekly, and I think that probably lasted 2 weeks, and then we're like, nap, we're gonna record every week. And I'm sure glad we did.
Actually, that pilot has 114 listens.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
For SoundCloud, you know what I mean? Like, to go out of your way and listen to SoundCloud.
Right. Totally.
But yeah, pretty cool. And to celebrate the big 5-0 next week, we're going to talk about Star Fox Guard.
Yes, our highly anticipated We Demand You segment is going to be next week. I hope you're excited for it, because I am. The overshadowed game from the overshadowed game.
On the
very
not
interesting
overshadowed
Wii U.
system.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole Star Fox, like 2 Star Fox games came out last year, and another one's coming out this year. Pretty nutso.
Dude, that was 2 years ago.
Was it?
Because Star Fox, I remember I was coming home from PAX the year before we went together, and I remember I came home and I was like, oh sweet, Star Fox is here.
Yeah, that was 2016.
Nope. Yep. I lied.
Yep.
You're right.
No, I know. Yeah.
Jim is wrong.
Jimmy's wrong. Yes. So yes. It's been fun. I guess we should announce that it will be our last episode. Just kidding.
That's it.
Oh man.
We were
Dude.
We signed a 50 episode contract, and that's it. We're free agents.
Yep. No.
Nope.
We like we said. Casey texted me. This morning he said on to
46 more.
46 more years.
Yep.
So
when we'll be covering the Wii U Classic Edition.
There you go. Exactly. So let's see. If you do 46 times 50, yep, 2,300. That's how many shows we got coming. So.
All right. I hope you are all ready, because I know we are. And we're not going to miss a week either. So, on that note, before we keep on rambling on, we will see you next week.
Giddy up.
Thanks for listening.
Follow us and talk to Nintendo Pod.
I need a 128-inch screen just so I can see.
I'm gonna tell Aunt D about this.
All of this could be yours for $100.
Buh.
They could come over and, like, kill my family, and I'll be like, can I get that Mario and Rabbids game real quick, though? Nope. Yep. I lied. You're right. Jim is wrong.